Okay, hi there. My name is Muriel Macleod, and I'm working for e-sgoil on the Isle of Lewis. And I was taken on for it's less than 2 years, but it's about a 1.5 year project to develop confidence in STEM in the early years nursery staff. It was funding that they got, and the aims were to develop online support, to coach, support and help early years primary staff to engage confidently in STEM experiences, to assist early years Gaelic Medium staff in identifying and sharing good practice, and to further develop training materials to deliver Gaelic Medium STEM experiences to early years settings. I think that's something I started off doing a questionnaire, and that came up quite a lot, that they found it hard to find things in Gaelic. So I've helped with translating things and pointing in the right direction. I did 3 CLPL sessions, 2 in Lewis and 1 in Uist, and we also sent one of the play leaders from e-sgoil. She went to a day in STEM day at Cirque in Dunfermline, and she thoroughly enjoyed it. That was her impact statement there. She had a great time, and she even came to my last CLPL session and did a wee input, so it was nice for her to get to deliver some ideas to her colleagues as well. And that's, I won't read it out. You can read it yourselves. But one of the things you can see in the pictures there that they did was paper making. So that was just using shredded paper from the shredder that every school doesn't know what to do with it, and they just made it into a pulp with water. And then they put like a wooden frame and some muslin, and then they squeezed it through to dry it. And they added things like flowers or food colouring, and then they dried it off and they made their own paper. So that was one of the favourite ideas that she fed back to us. Other activities was outdoor learning. Again, this was taken from a Cirque session that I attended a few years ago when I was the lead science mentor for the authority. And that was things like going outside and doing a leaf hunt in pairs or groups. And they had 2 minutes to collect as many different leaves as possible from the surrounding area. And then they had to all come back and lay them out in a row on the playground and see if they could match up the similar ones between the groups and see who got the most, and talking about the different types of shapes and sizes and similarities and differences. And we also did some exploring with trees, so looking at the bark, doing rubbings, is there anything growing on it, under it, feel it, describe it. The tree trunk, can you reach round it? If not, how many of your friends do you need to reach round it? And looking at the plants that were in the surrounding area, the different types and colours, and look at them with magnifying glasses or microscopes. And then we did a treasure hunt grid. Don't know if you can see it. So it's just squares, and I put, well, this is in Gaelic, colours, and a brown leaf, a jagged leaf, a red flower, a seed, a twig, some moss, and then it's just got double-sided sticky tape on it. So you just peel them off beforehand, and then you send them off in groups of 2s or 3s to try and see who can fill the grid first. Obviously, this could be adapted for absolutely anything to suit your topic. So that was the outdoor learning session. We also did a magnification session, again taken from a Cirque meet, and that was looking at different types of magnifiers. So there's that one, and just these wee pocket ones or big ones, and just talking about the differences in them. And we also had a Wi-Fi microscope, which I got one purchased for each early years setting in our authority, and you link it to your phone or tablet, and it's so simple. It uses its own Wi-Fi, so you don't need to have it Wi-Fi. So that's, so can you guess what is in the magnifier? Any guesses? I don't know if you can see it very well, will I? So again, you just put it comes with a wee stand, or there's that stand as well, and they're only about £20 on Amazon. So it was just a wee bit of packaging. So we've got like a wee packet filled with different pieces of materials, bit of string, some foil, some newspaper. So just for them to explore and play with and talk about and describe what they're seeing. So that was another session. We also did another Cirque Meet Teddy in the Park. I don't know if any of you have taken part in that before, but it's good fun. I just did that one 2 weeks ago for our local authority. So it's a story, Teddy in the Park. It's about two wee pals, two wee teddies that go for a walk, and then they lose their backpacks. So they have to find somewhere to stay. So they have to find something warm to sleep in. So they need sleeping bags. So we've got thermochromic paper, which if you put your hand on it and pull it away, it shows the heat. I don't know if you can see it very well. Like that. So we had, pull this down enough. So I've got 3 universal tubes here, and there's lots of different types of materials, and you have to choose 3 different ones, and there's hot water in each universal tube. Well, it was hot when I poured it. Hopefully it still is. And then you would do this lying down with the things flat on the table, but you put the thermochromic paper against it, and you're looking for the one that doesn't change colour, because that shows you that it's, oh, you can't see it. So I'll just hold it up. So you hold the universal tubes against it. So there's that one. That's the fluffy one. And then this is the foil. That one, it changes colour. Again, it's better when you have it flat on a table. And then this one is just a bit of mesh. And that one changes colour quite quickly as well. So the winner would be this one because it's not releasing as much heat. That was one of the examples. Another one was the road sign to show them the way got washed away. So they have to make their own sign. There's just a bit of blackboard, and it's which material makes the best sign. So we've got chalk or a chalk pen or paint. And then you would use a bottle of water with a wee sprinkler lid, and you just pour the water down it, and you see which one is best. I'm not demonstrating the water because I'm not cleaning up the mess. So you would pour that and see which, obviously making predictions first, and then where they're right and why. That's another example. And then they had to find a tent because they'd lost their tent in the story. So again, a selection of materials and plastic cups. So we've got like a bit of tablecloth, some neon material, and just some black. So again, you would pour some water. You could use the water from your universal tube that you're finished with. Pour some water on top of each of these, the same amount. So you could pour one tube, and one tube. So it's a fair test. Pour it on, and then you see if any of the water has come through into the cup, and then that tells you which material is the most waterproof. I also, together with our PDSO, we made a transition project on Humpty Dumpty that schools could use with early nurseries, early years settings. And we came up with some science activities like, will Humpty sink or swim? How strong is Humpty's shell? Walking on Humpty's friends. So they would walk on the eggs and see what would happen. Egg strength experiment. Squishy Humpty. When you make, and there's an experiment that you make the egg soft. Loads of different ones. And that's science technologies. How tall can you build a wall for Humpty to sit on? Can you put Humpty Dumpty back together? Which is just pieces of puzzle with maybe plasters, and how can you protect an egg in a collision, and there's maths things like measure the height of Humpty Dumpty using cubes or Lego, measure the height of the wall, height of a wall inside or outside, counting how many blocks are in the walls that you've made, and then the shapes and patterns on eggs, and rolling and stacking. So that was another thing that we came up with. Another thing I shared with the staff was giglets, which our authority have purchased and authority-wide, so all the schools in our authority have access to Giglets, and it has a lot of Gaelic books on it, which is what I was focusing on. So it was nice to share that with them and make them aware. Some may not have been aware that it existed or how to use it. And another thing I shared with them was a caterpillar. So this joins together. It comes in parts. You just pull them apart, and one of them, it'll go left or straight ahead or right or play a tune. So it's like an introduction to coding, and you just slot together in any sequence you like. You can put as many as you like in, and then it plays an annoying noise, loud. And then you just press the start button, and it'll move according to the program that you've set. It's good. It's like a bebot toy. And we also purchase resources for our earlier settings. So that's the caterpillar there in the picture. So we got magnetic shapes and sand, remote control cars, nuts and bolt science kits, the Wi-Fi microscopes, walkie-talkies, building blocks and magnetic ones, cars and people. And it's been very well supported, and we've had excellent feedback at all our CLPL sessions. There's just an example of some of the comments, and then I have a Teams page set up, and it's really going through social media and finding things that are already there rather than reinventing the wheel, and just putting them onto my Teams page, and I'll comment in Gaelic what it is so that they have the terminology and a link to the page that I found it from. For example, they'd made a ramp, and that I'd posted a picture with a ramp with cardboard, and they were like, perfect, let's do that. Also with they'd been doing something on winter and snow, but we hadn't had any snow, so they decided to make their own because I'd shared a post on how to make snow. And a rain cloud in a jar was another one that they did. So for the rain cloud in a jar, you've got water with coloured water in a coloured paint in a bowl, and then you put water in a vase, and you put shaving foam on, and then you just drop with maybe a dropper of the coloured water in, and you can see how it'll sink through, and it's an example of how clouds form and how it rains, that the tiny particles come from the rivers or the lakes or the ocean, and they get immersed, and then it gets so big that it starts to rain. And then with the snowman that you can see there in the picture, that's just baking soda and hair conditioner and a bowl and an ice cube tray, or you could use any shape that you wanted, and you just mix the ingredients together until it forms a ball, and then it makes snow. And it like the comment says, it was actually really strange as it felt cold. So again, it's just posting things that I found online or on social media. There's so many pages and websites out there that it's just nice that I've got the time to sit and pull it all together, whereas that's the thing that people always struggle with, is the time to sit and find these ideas. But we've had some really nice comments, and it's nice to see that you are making a difference and that you're having an impact on the children, really, is the main thing. So that was the impact from all the feedback we've had from the project, that we've engaged all of the earlier settings. We had 100% response from the questionnaire that I sent out. So that was really good, although I did nag a few of them, the last couple, to get it done. And ongoing support, they get in touch with me for ideas if they've got some project, and can you help me find some STEM ideas for this, that, or the next thing, and source materials for them. And like that, we've purchased quite a lot of new resources for them, and they've, as you've seen in the feedback, it's boosted their confidence to teach STEM and providing lots of practical ideas. And finally, is just some websites that quite often I came across, especially Making Learning Fun with Mrs. H. That's a really good one. It's so simple and practical, and obviously the Education Scotland website and STEM Nation as well. But that's everything. So thank you very much.